Hey everyone, my name is Noah and I just 100%ed Red Dead Redemption 2 for the very first time.
That's great! That's
I played the game at release back in October 2018 and finished the story, but missed a lot since I focused on the main story missions like several others did too. I actually haven't played the game since 2018 and actually picked it up for the second time just these past few months with the intent to experience everything the game had to offer. Hey, how y'all doing? So you're probably wondering why in the world it took me 7 years to play this game again, especially if I loved it so much the first time. But unlike most people on the internet these days, I'm actually employed, and a lot of things have changed since I was 17 in 2018, and now I'm almost 25 years old. So yeah, that's kind of why I haven't played it in so long, and I play other games too. I'm a gamer. I do a lot of other things besides just play games, so you know as well as I do that Red Dead Redemption 2 is not just something you can easily do and start and finish in a reasonable amount of time. It takes a while even if you just do the story. But yeah, I thought I'd just throw that in there. And oh yeah, by the way, if you're curious, I'm a big fan of Rockstar. Like I said, I'm a big gamer. They've always been a big part of my life, so I've been really excited to kind of dive back into the game and kind of do this, especially making content out of it. That's something I always wanted to do. I thought it'd be really cool, really interesting to do that.
Sure.
And oh yeah, on another note, I just want to express kind of my standing with Red Dead Redemption 2. So whenever I first played this game, I booted up at midnight 2018. I did not know what I was in for, just like most everybody else. This game is it's the greatest entertainment experience I've ever had in my life. I've played a lot of games, I've watched a lot of movies, but nothing has left such an impact on me like this. I have so much fondness for the story and the way this game made me feel. It's basically like a touch grass simulator. Like, I've never been so immersed in a open world game in a digital space like I was in Red Dead Redemption 2. And there was nothing better than returning back to it, especially with all this hindsight now, knowing these little things, and then even learning a lot of stuff as I went. So yeah, I just kind of want to preface kind of my standing with the game before we get to the main stuff. But I absolutely love this game, and I want to do nothing but support it, and I love seeing how the legs that this game has had even after 7 years. And honestly, let's hope that maybe Rockstar gives Red Dead Redemption 2 some love and we get a port to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 with maybe a higher frame rate, blah blah blah. I mean, heck, we got Red Dead Redemption 1 coming on the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 before Red Dead 2 or GTA 6. That's pretty wild when you think about it. But anyways, I'll quit talking. Back to the video. I'm going to discuss everything I learned and noticed along the way during my second playthrough. I know some of this might be common knowledge now that the game is 7 years old, but try to keep in mind that this is from my perspective. Someone who experienced the game back when a lot of this wasn't discovered yet, and somehow I've went all of this time without spoiling some of these details 7 years later. And a disclaimer, this video will include spoilers for the game. And also maybe some memes and maybe a Chris Hansen bit.
Well, you know how to make yourself right at home, don't you? Have a seat on that stool right over there.
You know, here's your time to back out now if you can't laugh, so yeah. And one final disclaimer before I get started. I already know there are going to be some smooth-brained twats that are gearing up to comment, "Well, I knew that," or "Nothing new." Well, that's great, dog, but when you clicked on the video, did you read what it's called? It's everything that I learned, not everything that you already knew. If that's all you have to contribute, then please take the next flight out of here to Tahiti. I don't want you here. If this is your first time finding me, consider liking and subscribing and tell me some of the things you learned or discovered playing the game. With that out of the way, here is everything I learned playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for the second time. Let's get started.
Does this trolley go to Tahiti? I hope so.
Dutch's secret note.
Now what in the hell is this?
As we are all aware, Dutch gives a pep talk / speech to the gang when they arrive in Coulter at the very beginning of the game in Chapter 1. Later in Chapter 2, you can actually walk slightly east out of camp and find a few crates, some junk, and a wagon. However, on one crate you can actually find a scrap piece of paper that was handwritten by Dutch. This entails almost his entire speech from the start of the game. even with self-notes on how to say certain things and get certain points across. This absolutely blew me away. This only supports the idea that Dutch isn't as sincere or as sharp as he makes out to be.
They may be okay. We don't know. But we lost some folks. Now, if I could throw myself in the ground in their stead, I'd do it. Gladly.
Case in point, he rehearsed his own glorious words to win the favor of the people back after the mess that was Blackwater. Not an apology, a way to secure his favor among the gang and keep them close. There is all the proof we need, on paper at least, of his manipulative tactics and words. Something that is his superpower is finely crafted words. And what is even cooler is you can actually keep this note as Arthur. So cool to find. Uncle's item request, or lack thereof. Uncle will actually make fun of other gang members requesting Arthur to find stuff for them. Found this out playing poker with him in Chapter 2, where he actually talks about something he lost in the snowy mountains and said that he can get it on his own since he's a grown man.
I can't believe I lost my cigarette case on that mountain. And no, Arthur, this don't mean I'm asking you to get one for me. I'm a grown man.
Sure.
Most remember and know that different gang members will request items for Arthur to find throughout the game. So this was kind of fun.
Don't take too much pride in your work. And Micah, we need to talk. Figure out some things.
Of course, boss. Figure out what?
The plan.
Fast travel. It is super beneficial to get some money together early in the game to purchase upgrades for Dutch and Arthur's tents and camp. Doing this will obviously unlock the fast travel ability from Arthur's tent and or camping anywhere in the wilderness. Honestly, I wish I had done this sooner when I played the game the first time, but this time around on my second playthrough I was prepared, and it being unlocked in Chapter 2 definitely helped shave some time down on the early portions of the game.
Boy.
You can hitch your horse to the ground? Am I stupid, or have I never heard anyone talk about this before? I was leaving the old tombs when I accidentally kept the Y button pressed getting on my horse, and then Arthur proceeds to jump back off and then put the lead back in the ground. They blew my mind. I was like, what is this?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I've watched countless videos over the past 7 years along with my in-game experience, and I never knew this, and I like to think I'm a pretty big Red Dead fan. This game never makes this clear if I'm not mistaken. Everyone knows you can hitch your horse to a hitching post or any tree around the game, but to the ground is genuinely a new find for me that I've never seen anyone else mention up to this point. Wow. This is just, it's crazy.
What the hell?
Meteor Shower? So if you head northwest of Annesburg, you can actually run across a house with a smoking hole through the roof. You walk in and discover mangled bodies hit by what seemingly is a meteor. This was a huge shock when I found this randomly, but it gets better. Just slightly west of the house, right up on the hills, I actually found a giant crater where a larger meteor had struck the ground, bending all the trees around it and leaving a massive footprint. Both places you can pick up a meteor fragment, and Arthur will put this in his journal along with a permanent drawing showing up on your map. I thought this was really, really cool. I can't believe I missed this the first time. I guess I just wasn't really paying attention. Dead man with withered arm. I was actually riding around the swamps near Shady Bell and I actually found a dead man face down in the mud, and he had a deformed arm. Arthur noted this in his journal and it becomes a drawing on the map. I didn't ever find further or prior context to this. It's just a neat and random find that only makes this world feel more alive and like it was moving before you even got there. And that is the magic of what Red Dead Redemption 2 does so well.
I love my Hoshi and my Hoshi love me. Grow up.
Missable camp interactions. Most are aware, but you can linger in camp at the right times and catch conversations or special interactions that reveal a lot about the characters at certain points in the game. I already knew this, but purposely hung around camp to soak in all I could this time around. These are easily missable.
Excuse me. I've excused you quite enough. Don't sleep it off, you drunk. Is that clear? Okay.
Such as Uncle talking about his youth. We don't really know much about Uncle, so this was kind of a nice thing to hear.
Arriving in a new city.
Both your parents
Morning,
newly dead. No one looking after you except some scumbags you meet on the street. Folks starving, people desperate.
How old were you?
9. Since 9 years old, I've been living on my wits.
You know something, Arthur?
What?
You was always special to me. All these years. All these things we done. Good things. Bad things. All these people we seen passed on. You was always special.
Are we living or dying this time, Dutch?
I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Or you might just catch other members explaining how they were found and saved by Dutch.
I tried to rob him. I mean, I was just out of the army, and Dutch got one look at me. He sheared me up, and he gave me purpose. And now I sense some of you fools are doubting him. And that makes me so angry, because he saved me.
You also might just catch Javier punching Micah.
Why don't you off back to Mexico? Huh?
Hey there.
Why don't you off back to hell?
You hit like you dress.
All feminine.
Nice hit.
Next time, it'll be a bullet.
Or Bill acting funny towards Kieran, supporting certain fan theories about Bill. You know which theories I'm talking about.
What do you reckon, Morgan?
I reckon you two are made for each other.
I had just left the army. And it wasn't on a case of no dishonorable discharge like I'm sure some of you have heard around here. But it was by mutual consent on the account of our differing opinions, or that's how the captain put it. Differing opinions. What do you want, Morgan?
Nothing.
Well, then let fellers have a drink in peace. Hey, no, where are you going? Well, no, don't take off. Oh, shit.
What? I ain't gay.
I especially enjoy catching glimpses of John going from cold towards his family early in the game to becoming more warm and caring for his family as the story began to wrap up.
There's a fine boy you got. If he's mine, of course he's yours. It's the truest of gifts, a child. Yet you push him away. I ain't no kind of father.
Come on, play, Pop.
What'd you call me?
You swing your sword like this.
Now ain't such a good time, kid.
Guess it never is.
2 orphans playing at happy families. What a touching scene.
Go to hell.
You know, Jack, Dutch thought your pa was gold once too, till he realized he was just yellow.
Leave my son the hell alone. You got something to say? Say it to me, you son of a bitch.
Oh,
So yeah, these are really cool.
cherish every last moment with your son, John.
You think you'll ever go back to Mexico?
For now, I can't. You think we're wanted here? I'll be shot on sight if I go back there.
Maybe one day.
Arthur's secret house loan.
Arthur, what?
Early in Chapter 2, you can travel south of Valentine at Caster's Ridge and can pass by a family building a house and interact with them. If you come back, you'll see them being attacked by other men and you can choose to help them. If you fail and they die, this can actually affect this little side story. However, they will thank you and you can leave. If you return once again, you will actually find the house is nearing completion, but the father asks for getting help, for getting more supplies or money to finish the project. They say they're broke. I chose to give him $100 and went on my way. I actually happened just to come back once again and actually found it finished. The man actually paid me back $100 and then $50 more for interest. This is a super cool encounter and continuing events for not being a dedicated side mission. There was nothing on the map, there was nothing to cue you in that this was going on. There is a great possibility you could miss this. I'm really angry that my Xbox captures basically wiped all my footage of all this happening besides the very end interaction where I'm paid back. So that's why I used that other footage during this segment. A hidden mining cave? I absolutely had no clue you could explore a cave near Mount Shan. You will find the entrance, and then shortly after you go in, you'll be stopped by rock debris. If you look carefully, you can see a lead going to a detonator. You can blow the rocks with the wired explosives and kind of follow through another set of caves. You'll find a dead guy, and you'll find a unique knife stuck in his back and his hat, which is the miner's hat, and you can collect this also. This miner's hat is one of the best tools to use and wear in dark areas or exploring other caves. I wish I had found it earlier, but it was so cool to discover this.
I'm gonna have a right out lump on me head.
At least you ain't got a hole in it.
Man versus bear. One time I was just wandering around north of Mount Shan in the valley, my favorite part of the map, by the way, and was trying to complete a challenge when I discovered something by accident. I actually found a man and a grizzly bear both dead on each other. There was a unique antler knife that I could collect. I guess they had evidently killed each other. The man's face is severely mangled. I thought this was just really cool. I mean, just super random. Ghost Train? And no, I'm not talking about the
Polar Express!
I remember hearing rumors about this in 2018 at launch, but I could not believe it when I actually saw it this time. You can catch this between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. here. And be ready to capture this because it only happens once in a playthrough. For real, it brought back memories of the only ghost train that spooked me as a kid. Well, I was going to show you a clip from Thomas the Tank Engine of a little train falling off the tracks and spooking a bunch of people, and then they say they can see the train as a ghost later, and it kind of terrified me as a kid. But I can't show you this because Hit Entertainment, the boys behind the Wiggles and all these other things, don't like me, and they have copyright and all that good mess. So yeah, that's why you see this. Sorry about that. Yeah, I know I just put a Thomas the Tank Engine clip in this video, but deal with it. Hey, sorry to stop the video, but today's video is sponsored by...
I got lumbago!
You'll have more than that in a minute!
Cigarette Cards 101. As most know, you can run into a stranger at Flatneck Station and he will propose an opportunity for Arthur to collect cigarette cards and get paid for this side mission. I was an idiot and used to be under the impression that you could only find the cards on their own across the map, which you can do, but it's obviously a long process. After collecting a few in some odd places, I realized I was totally missing the fact that I get cards by buying or just picking up premium cigarettes on my first playthrough. This dawned on me the second time. Once I learned this, I bought pack after pack at a general store until I collected them all. Yes, you can do this. You will have to discard these from your satchel eventually once it's full, but this process can be repeated until you collect them all. I think it took me about an hour, maybe, something like that, but by doing this and mailing the cards, you will receive unique rewards such as like Civil War handcuffs and obviously money. This was honestly not as hard as what I used to think it was when I first played this game, but yeah, that's how you do the cigarette cards, if you're curious.
But please, take this. We believe it to be sacred.
Trinkets and Talismans.
Thank you.
I never knew or realized you can craft or obtain unique trinkets and talismans that give permanent perks to the player that affects cores and other game mechanics. These can be obtained by hunting legendary animals and seeking other rare items for crafting, and some are also from side missions and other optional things that are missable. For example, one trinket can stop animals from rotting on your horse, others can increase your likelihood of getting perfect pelted animals, and even the ability to have increased loot amounts found. There's also some that reduce your weapon wear and increase the amount of plants you can collect by picking them up. These are definitely a big help, especially my second playthrough as I sought most of them by Chapter 3. In the mission Archaeology for Beginners, later in Chapter 6, where Arthur takes a ride with Rain's Fall, he asks you to recover important items from the army, and specifically asks for no violence. If you sneak into the army camp and collect said items without notice or killing anyone, Rain's Fall will actually give you a unique trinket, which is the Owl Feather Trinket, that will slow your cores from draining by 15%. This particular trinket is completely optional and can be missed. It is a needed advantage for Arthur, considering his tuberculosis is already negatively affecting his cores. There's also another side mission I can think of where you actually help the circus and find a lion. You can also craft something from that lion too that's optional and missable as well. I think I probably cleared the army camp and didn't catch his request for no violence the first time around with this side mission, but oh well, I know now, and now I have the trinket, so cool. But these items are a crucial help, and I noticed a big difference in my experience with them helping me as both Arthur and John. And a side note, the talismans are a cosmetic item that can also be displayed on your outfit, that being only a couple at a time, and not all of them at a time. As you might notice, my Arthur is actually displaying the Bear Claw talisman on his belt, and also the Raven Claw talisman on his primary holster. Just thought that was really cool. Oh, and one last thing, I want to mention the Shark Tooth trinket in particular. This is the find that sent me down the rabbit hole with Trinkets and Talismans to begin with. So I was wandering around just north of Annesburg and wanted to reach the map's borders. It didn't look like it was that far away. You can see it on the map here. On my way there, I also found this really cool rock with some old writing on it. Thought that was neat. Arthur will take a note in his journal about it, and it'll be on your map. But I kind of went just past this, and I began traveling, and I kept trucking along through this kind of weird trail. I also went into some water. Finally, I actually saw a crashed ship actually ahead, and I was like, holy crap. I got closer, and I took a look around, and yeah, there's actually a cheat code right there for anybody curious. And I found a loot box, and that's where the Shark Tooth trinket was. I picked it up, looked at my menu, and this collecting this actually granted me a 10% bonus in my bonding with my horses. I thought this was really cool, but I wanted to share this in case someone wasn't aware of this or had never seen this before. I thought this was really cool. Man-Made Mutant. So, I never knew about this either. So if you go to a house that's actually west of Van Horn, you can actually climb up on the porch and then through the upstairs window. And here you're going to see what looks like a man-bear-pig thing with a bunch of other notes and parts of other animals around the room. I mean, you can pick up all these letters and inspect them. It's really interesting. And then obviously you can draw this in your journal. And I actually discovered this is John, so I thought it was even funnier that John draws this the way John draws, which is kind of rudimentary of this thing. And he says something like, people are just weird. Definitely strange. I had no clue about this. This is a neat find.
Well, I guess old Dutch got all the smoke he wants.
Let's hope so.
You really think that that'll draw attention away from us?
Horses can swim. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this one, but it wasn't until this second playthrough that I actually figured out that horses can swim. I guess I just never really tried this my first time around because I just assumed that they couldn't swim. I didn't really see my horse approach water very often. So this kind of just went over my head until this recent time where I found it out. And while I was trying to demonstrate this for this clip, you can see my horse leave me and almost let me drown. So that was nice too, because obviously poor John can't swim.
Oh, I'm ready for you this...
Catfish Jackson's Hidden Encounter. There are actually a few different alternate ways to approach this, but here is the one that happened to me. So earlier in the game, you can rob this homestead at Catfish Jackson's. You'll find a drunken and angry father and his son in the house. I actually ended up killing the father after watching him hit his son and then threaten the boy for the money stash location. I got it from the chimney and went on my way. Randomly, later in Chapter 6, I actually ended up returning to the place, and I actually found a grave outside for his father. I guess his son Nate had buried him. I walked in around the house and I thought I heard something, so I started sneaking. I went into Nate's room and he was still on the bed. And he actually immediately jumped at me with a knife and tried to kill me. So I hogtied him. And I was like, well, what should I do now? So I actually untied him, and then I actually started having some fun with him and actually led him to Rhodes in the hopes that the law enforcement might get involved. Spoiler alert, they didn't. So I got kind of tired of him just following me, so I eventually knocked him out. I didn't want to kill him, so this is my best solution. But I've seen other ways that this can play out if you don't kill the father, but I thought this is so cool that you could just randomly come back and that boy's like, I'm actually ready for you this time, and he actually tries to take out Arthur. This is just really cool, just random. Satchels. The satchels you carry are often overlooked. I can attest to this personally. I never once even crafted any additional satchels on my first playthrough, it just kind of slipped my mind. However, on this second time I took a closer look around and realized you can get the Legend of the East satchel by crafting all the others before it. This particular satchel improves your storage capacity immensely for any item. This is a huge benefit to have early in the game and to carry through the remainder of it. Your item inventory will be increased to around 100 of any item you can carry. The other satchels required to get this only increase the storage capacity for one thing, like your ingredients, your valuables, but they're independent. Hunting these animals down for Pearson to craft these satchels really didn't take that long, even though it's a little tedious. It's undoubtedly a necessary evil to tackle as soon as Chapter 2 starts, and you're able to make your entire playthrough that much easier and better for storing everything you'll find as you play the game.
Aside from my Jake, you're the best man I've known.
I know the company you keep. The competition ain't too fierce. We should get away from her.
Frozen Settler. If you head up to Mount Hagen and look around the peak, you can find the frozen body of a settler. He's obviously been here a while. You can make a journal entry and he will be permanently labeled on your map. You can also pick up his hat and wear it. What makes this even better, though, is that you can go back to camp and they will react to your new hat. It's pretty hilarious.
What are you dressed in, Morgan?
I like that new hat.
What a queer choice in clothing, Mr. Morgan.
What on earth are you wearing?
Dutch! Do you like my hat, Dutch?
And if you're wondering, you can also do this as John in an epilogue. Like, I put this same hat back on, and Abigail said something pretty funny about it.
John, what in God's name is that outfit?
Have a seat.
Well, you know how to make yourself right at home, don't you? Have a seat on that stool right over there.
No, not Chris Hansen, not Chris Hansen. So this is probably the most minuscule features in Red Dead Redemption 2, but there are designated seating areas in the game around the map. There are around 20 or so, which is absolutely insane. Now, I think most people know you can't just pop a squat anywhere you feel like, you can rest anywhere you feel like, but there's certain parts of the map that give you a prompt to take a seat. These include spots on docks, boats, cliffs, buildings, and even a dam. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about, and no, I didn't visit all of them, just the ones that I thought were special to me. And yes, I see the hat behind the waterfall. I knew about this, but literally forgot to collect it earlier as Arthur. It just kind of slipped my mind, doing this 100% and everything else. So, I guess my random desire to find the seating spot at the waterfall also helped remind me of this too. And I scored me a new hat in this letter. Grave sites. Seems obvious, but you can visit your fallen companions' graves. What is often forgotten, though, is that you can find and visit them throughout the story as it progresses. For instance, you can find Davy Calendar and Jenny Kirk's graves in and around Coulter early on, since they're the first to die in the story. As the rest of the story unfolds, you can visit Sean McGuire, Kieran Duffy, Hosea Matthews, and Lenny Summers.
When I die, I just want to be buried with friends.
Me too. With friends or with family. I don't think it matters more than that.
Then you can visit Susan Grimshaw's grave, Eagle Flies, and of course, Arthur Morgan. Obviously, some of these can't be found until the epilogue in 1907 with John. These include Miss Grimshaw, Eagle Flies, and Arthur. I guess what's common is for people to only search for these in the epilogue, when in fact you can discover them as the story progresses, like I just mentioned. Admittedly, I had no clue these graves existed in my first playthrough, besides Arthur's, until I finished it. So upon the second time, shooting for the 100% completion, I sought all the graves as I went along. That way, I can maybe experience some of them as Arthur, and then experience some of them as John. So yeah, for some reason in my brain that kind of canonically made more sense.
I'm the devil! I'm the devil!
Cave Devil. Just west of where Pronghorn Ranch is in the first part of the epilogue, you can find a creepy cave where you'll find a guy claiming he's the devil, and he wants you to leave him alone. You just head up this trail and you'll find the entrance. Keep moving until you find the elevated place and you'll hear him speak.
Go away, please! Why don't you turn around and go back to the light? Can you leave my cave, please? There are nasty things and nasty people down here, and I don't mean you. I'm the devil! I'm the devil! I'm the devil!
He eventually admits he's not the devil and proceeds to hide.
Okay, I'm not the devil. But I want to be. I want to be. And that's even worse. I'm a nasty man. Go away! I don't want you here. Is that so bad?
I tried reaching him for like 15 minutes until I got bored, and I threw some of my magic candles at him to make him feel better. So, yeah, this was kind of a weird thing, but if you know, you know. If you didn't, well, here's another cool thing, I guess. Collecting Micah's revolver. So this is another really interesting find. After the epilogue is finished, the story wraps up, you can actually return back to the hideout. And you can find Micah's dead, frozen body down on the ground, and you can pick up his revolver and keep it for yourself. It's really cool, especially all the details on the gun itself. We never really get a good look at it until this moment. But too bad we can't pick up both of them, because we know he wields two, but at least one is really cool. It's got some cool carving on the barrel. It's just really neat that you can keep this.
Did you miss me?
I suppose so.
The Reclusive Giant. So, I actually found this on my second playthrough. I remember hearing rumblings about this when I played this back in 2018, but I never came across it myself. But apparently if you go to the Wapiti Indian Reservation on a clear day, you can find a flock of birds near a bridge and follow them to find a giant behind a boulder. Now, the only prerequisite you need to do is you need to be able to study 30 animals before this. Why, I don't know, but once you have 30 animals studied and go to this spot on a clear day, you'll find the birds and you can follow them all the way up around the grizzlies, and they'll disperse and you'll be face to face right here at this weird clearing, and you'll hear a giant's voice behind some rocks. You never see him, but Arthur and the giant have an exchange. You can also do this as John, but it's kind of interesting. I went back and visited him one more time as Arthur, and I think that was it. But I had all this footage the first time this happened to me on my Xbox, but just like before, Xbox captures kind of suck, and these videos are gone. Besides this encounter that I had for the second time I talked to him, which I'll show you. But I tried to trigger this on an old save of mine. Found the birds, no problem, followed them all the way up to the cave, but right when I got there, it started freaking raining, and the encounter just didn't happen. I tried sleeping, again, I tried doing all these things to reset, I tried reloading my game, but I couldn't get this to trigger again, for whatever reason. So I actually had an old save back in Chapter 4, I think, and I was actually able to recreate this again, and I can show you my first encounter. So all hope is not lost, so here's my first and my second encounter.
How are you? I'm rather lonely. You see, I'm too big. I haven't got any friends because I'm too big.
Is that so?
Yes. Yes, it is so. That's sort of why I said it. That and because I was lonely and wanted to talk. Maybe we could be friends. I've always wanted a real friend. Someone to discuss the human condition with, you know?
I don't know much about that.
Neither do I. Be well, friend. Be well. Murdered. Not very exciting as it goes.
Huh. I suppose pick lonely?
Did you miss me?
I suppose so.
Yes, I missed you, too. I've been quite lonely out here. One day, I long to have a wife. But women can be so cruel. Nobody wants large children. They eat too much. It's very sad.
The Viking Tombs. Right here on the map, I found a burial ground / a dugout channel full of skeletons. I actually roamed around with my lantern and picked up a Viking hatchet, along with a unique Viking helmet. Seemingly random, but serves as a great find to help further establish this world existing long before Arthur found this. Although it's strange, this is what Rockstar does so well with their world building, while also having just a little fun. Newspapers. I always overlooked how insightful they could be the first time around, but this second time I wanted to skim and actually read the newspapers that I bought. My favorites were the ones that alluded to recent big events, along with shedding light on events in the world. Even things that we don't see, like it helps build out the world. But by far my favorite is definitely the one reporting on the death of Micah. That is just my favorite newspaper of all time. Like, I can't tell you how happy that made me reading that. Witch Hut. You can not only find the Witch Hut up in the Grizzlies, which I did years ago on my first playthrough, but this time I learned you can take a sip from the boiling pot and pass out to wake up later. You can also notice a crow perched in the shack and will not get spooked or fly away easily, even with gunshots around it. Some suspect this is a witch, maybe. To be honest, I'm not sure how I missed the drinking part of this back in 2018, but I did it this time and I feel accomplished, so yay.
Oh, I hear you out there, laughing at me.
The record poop. So what am I talking about? Well, early in the game, if you head into the Valentine Hotel and go upstairs, you can actually hear a guy struggling to relieve himself. It's pretty funny. You can just stand there, and he'll even comment saying that he can hear you. But if you return as John in the epilogue, you can still find him in here and hear him struggling. Boy's dying. Obviously, chapters 1 through 6 took place in 1899, whereas the epilogue is set in 1907. That means this is a record poop of 8 years. 8 years of poop. Boy's dying in there. Artificial intelligence. So upon my first playthrough, I actually missed out on the side mission chain involving meeting inventor Margot Dragic. You first meet him in St. Denis, where he lets you pilot an RC boat against mines and other toy ships for people. Pretty fun side mission, nothing special. Then he actually invites you to meet him up in his lab north of Annesburg. And here you actually help him create a kind of a weather experiment, kind of, sort of. All you know is that you're helping him channel lightning into his new creation, which is a robot.
Is that it?
For now. I am so happy. Oh, you just saw creation's second birth.
I just saw a machine waddle a few steps.
I have a son. I am the luckiest man alive. Those morons, they doubted me.
I'll see you later.
Yes, yes. Goodbye.
If you happen to stop back by his lab later, you will find his dead body along with an electric lantern you can collect.
Professor? Where's your creation now?
It's pretty weird. The key here is, though, the robot is missing. I remember hearing rumblings about finding a robot in the snow years ago, and now it finally made sense to me. I looked up the location and found it right up by Coulter, where you start the game in Chapter 1. You can find it sitting and repeating, Papa. I didn't really want to harm him. I actually had a better idea. I was going to return as John in the epilogue and see if it was still there or it rusted or, I wanted to see if Rockstar had thought about that. So that I did. But what I didn't realize at the particular time when I first discovered the robot is that the electric lantern I picked up could be used to locate it. How? The bulb color actually changes shades depending on where it's pointed, glowing red when it's pointing towards the robot. So, knowing this now, I use the lantern to prove this, and sure enough, it does work. I returned as John and found it still sitting exactly where it was back in 1899 when I found as Arthur, but now the robot has rust and electrical shorts appearing on its exterior. This is by far one of my favorite side mission payoffs, besides Charlotte the Widow and Hamish the Veteran. This is just really cool. Arthur visits New Austin early. So for years, everyone knows that crossing into Blackwater in New Austin is a death sentence, at least as Arthur. You'll be flocked by lawmen and eventually shot by the infamous invisible sniper. There have been methods to try and maneuver around these things by driving a covered wagon or carrying a deer carcass on your shoulder to shield you from the sniper. It's been tried for years. This allows you to travel to these restricted areas, but doesn't give you the freedom to explore in peace, pick up plants, and do these other things like you normally would with just John later in the epilogue. However,
Arthur! I had a plan!
I found a great video that I will reference and leave a link to in the description that showcased a way to travel to New Austin with no lawman or sniper as Arthur early in the game, actually allowing you to explore and even do other activities that otherwise are impossible as Arthur, as most of you probably know. I'm actually going to use some of Brother Frank's footage along with my own. Please excuse the footage quality from me. This was captured during my Twitch stream while trying this exploit. But to kind of sum this up, basically during the mission Angelo Bronte, A Man of Honor, in Chapter 4, you can actually purposefully get the law's attention on you and John while sneaking out of the graveyard and flee from the law. Once you lose the law, you can actually return to John near Bronte's place, wait for him to jump off of his horse, and then you can ride off to wherever you want to without a mission fail, which is great. What's even crazier is that you can take your horse to the horse fence outside of Rhodes and sell it over and over and over again without losing the horse. Every time you sell it and the cutscene plays out, your horse will be right back with you, and you can do it over and over again and just get infinite money. I have my white Arabian horse that was worth $300 and some, I think. So selling her several times definitely gave me quite a bit of money. After this, I then proceeded to Blackwater in New Austin, where I proceeded to study all these unique animals, inspect structures and other findings, along with talking to NPCs and engaging in these events that, again, otherwise are impossible as Arthur. What is super fascinating, though, is that these journal entries that are designed to be made by John later in the epilogue are now written as Arthur with his distinctive handwriting and his artistic flair with how he draws. We all know that John isn't the best drawer. So this only proves the theories that at some point in development, Arthur was actually meant to traverse this part of the map before it was changed and blocked off by Rockstar. Even something like the dialogue.
This place is a living hell. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess at some point Arthur definitely was meant to be playable in this area of the map. The only catch to this method is the time is locked at night and it's foggy, just like the mission is in Saint Denis. This applies to the entire map, so there wasn't an abundance of sightseeing whenever I was going around New Austin and these other places. During this, though, I made a point to find all this loot. I found Otis Miller's rare revolver, the ram skull mask, the scarecrow top hat, in McFarlane's ranch, even the turtle shell trinket, which actually gives a permanent buff to the player's health by allowing it to regenerate 10% faster, another perk that otherwise is unavailable to Arthur. However, I took this advantage to also catch and mail the remaining 3 legendary fish that are only found in New Austin to make as much progress as I could for the side mission, A Fisher of Men with Arthur.
And this is a book I wrote. Huh? I wrote it.
Good for you.
Fortunately, the legendary redfin pickerel and the legendary rock bass are small enough and can be placed in your satchel, leaving you just enough room to stow the third and last legendary fish, which is the largemouth bass. You can stow it on your horse, allowing you to carry all 3 of them at one time and mail them at your nearest post office. If I'm not mistaken, I wasn't able to hunt the remaining legendary animals in the area during this exploit, but I'm not 100% sure on this. I didn't attempt it. But anyways, after around 2 hours of exploiting this, I returned to John and finished the mission. What's absolutely hilarious, though, is John actually makes a remark about what took me so long. I cracked up. This method still works as of this recording as far as I know, so please remember to check out this guy's video after watching this video. I will leave a link in the description for anyone wanting to try this. This is so cool, especially if you're wanting to go to New Austin as Arthur early in the game.
You're a hard man to find, Arthur.
Gang hunts Arthur. So, if you are out and about and don't return to camp for a while, someone will eventually come and find you. I've seen instances of Bill and others, but Charles was the one I captured, who sought after me and asked if I was coming back that moment or later back to camp.
You're a hard man to find, Arthur.
Hello, Charles.
Been tracking you for days. Dutch was worried.
I've been, well, I'm fine, as you can see.
Yeah, so I see. You coming back to camp?
Soon. I promise.
Another small but cool detail, yet another example of why Rockstar is at least a decade ahead of its competitors when it comes to open world mechanics and game design. The Meditating Monk. So if you go up here around this part of the map, you can actually find a Meditating Monk just sitting there. And you can go up and talk to him. He won't ever respond to you. I tried greeting him for a little bit just for the heck of it.
Looks peaceful. You all right? Hey. You okay there?
Then I wanted to have some fun, so I started antagonizing him. And Arthur said some pretty funny things.
Remember to concentrate. You can hear me. Boo! Am I bothering you? Am I annoying you?
I've seen videos where people can run him off by shooting a shot up in the air. He might get scared and run off, but I left him be. I just tried to aggravate him a little bit, and then I left. But I thought this was really cool, too.
That was fun. I must get out more.
Is that your idea of fun, is it?
Missable companion missions. Throughout the game, there are companion missions in camp that can be missed, such as hunting with Pearson, selling cattle with Uncle, to name a couple. Some of these only became available at certain times in certain chapters, so be on the lookout for these. I remember trying to look for one in particular with Pearson, and it only spawned at certain times a day. So yeah, just keep a lookout on this. This is easily missable.
Oh, Mr. Bounty Hunter. Mr. Carpetbagger. It's not one man you're messing with now.
Law and Order. One time I actually helped a man who was injured get to a doctor in St. Denis, where I watched him amputate his arm. The doctor told me to maybe leave the room, that he was probably going to lose his arm, but I kind of wanted to stick around and see what happened. And unfortunately, I don't have that clip. But not long after this, I was actually riding in the graveyard in hunt for the Ultimate Edition treasure right there in St. Denis. And right beside there, I actually heard some people talking. And I witnessed this same man that I helped being hung for his crimes of murder. This like blew me away. I spoke to the lawman, and even Arthur comments about how he helped this guy. Bounties that you help gather alive will actually be in jail. You can actually go in and talk to them, and then eventually they'll probably hang in public. And that's so cool that you can actually go and see that. It kind of makes you feel like your actions really do have these outcomes. I witnessed this multiple times. This is a really cool detail. I saw this with the lady in Valentine. I saw this with several other people I brought in. It never got old to see this. It was really cool.
Go! It's the
Time
John
has come
Killer.
for your judgment.
Hey, hold it right there! Weapons on the ground and hands in the air.
Easy now, fellas.
Now, we won't tell you again.
Must be real lonely out here, friend.
2 guys, 1 swamp. Man, I never thought I'd say that.
No!
I actually ran into a guy northwest of St. Denis in a shack one time, and I was just going through the bushes, and he said that I looked lonely, and he actually invited me in for food. I was kind of suspicious, so I quit my revolver whenever he had the door open for me. But despite this, the game went into a cutscene. I holstered my weapon, and he knocked me black out. You actually see glimpses of this guy and him talking funny while Arthur is in and out of consciousness, talking about how they can be friends. It's just really creepy. But shortly after this, you're actually dumped out in the road away from the place just a little later. Arthur is missing $1 and says,
Oh my lord.
I think we can all begin to question what happened, but I think we all know what did, unfortunately. Obviously, I rode back to the shack where he tried to run in his house. I actually rode back to his house, and this is the second time you're seeing it. The first time I was too slow, and he actually runs in his house and locks the door, and you actually can't get in. So I tried this again, and instead I got right up to him and took him out point blank on his porch. And I went in and looted some stuff from his house. But either way, it gets better here. If you actually return to camp after this, Bill actually will come up to you and actually joke with you about this.
I met an interesting feller in the swamp. Real interesting.
Did you?
Sure. He seemed to know all about you. I mean, all about you.
Get out of here.
You know, speaking of which, Bill doesn't really have much room to talk. I think it's really convenient that Bill, of all people, knows another man who is into these things.
Friendship ain't so tough. And neither is you.
I guess this is also another reason to suspect. Before we dive into the final segment of the video, I just want to address the elephant in the room, other than I suck at making internet videos. And that is that I can't possibly cover every single thing I did or discovered, or else we'd probably be here for 4 hours. So, if you'd like to see more and what didn't make the cut here, please subscribe and support me, as I would love to make more content to talk about my time in the game. But let's get back to it.
Should I just sneak on now?
God damn it.
Okay, and for my final segment in this video, I want to discuss the biggest thing I learned on my second playthrough, that being what it truly takes for 100% completion. Whew. This includes and isn't limited to all 107 story missions, 90 individual challenges, and multiple side mission strands. This isn't all, but is the bulk of what's required. There's also a distinct number of animals and weaponry, equipment that needs to be discovered, but I found this easy since you encounter most of it just by playing the story. Doesn't sound like much, does it? Oh boy, that's wrong. To keep things simple, I'm going to focus on the two hardest aspects of this, in my personal opinion: the 90 challenges and the Dutch's Another Animal side mission strand. We'll get to that later. The majority of the 90 challenges are fairly simple at times, but Rockstar conveniently leaves out crucial information on how to obtain some of these correctly. Not to mention, there are some that are just pure luck. I'm not even joking. You could achieve them in 10 minutes or 10 hours. As far as the missing information that is concerned from Rockstar, I'll just give you an example. I was trying to do Sharpshooter 8, where you were tasked to disarm 3 people 3 times in a row without reloading or swapping weapons. Doesn't sound too bad, does it? It was. It was aggravating because you can't holster your weapon either. So here I was approaching the same guy in Valentine and trying to disarm him, then I'd run up in the trees to avoid the law and repeat this, hoping Arthur wouldn't drop his weapon or holster it, or something else that would happen for me to reset this. This was aggravating. But then it got worse with the Herbalist Challenge, specifically Herbalist 9. Requiring you to pick all 43 species of the plants in the game. But what's horrible is the game doesn't have a checklist for you to keep track of what you have and haven't picked. So I made a list on my phone to keep track of this. It's a very easy challenge. It's also stupidly tedious. But that's nothing compared to the Mac Daddy. The very thing I feared most in the game that I always avoided: gambling.
I'm afraid.
I never knew how to play poker, blackjack, or dominoes, which was never an issue until now. I have 10 challenges left that are purely just playing these games. I was whipped.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Hours and hours of losing, however, did result in me learning how to play each game. Great, right? Well, not exactly. You still had to be lucky for some of these challenges. The worst examples are Gambler 8 and 9. I'll never get back nearly 10 plus hours just in these 2 alone. Gambler 8 requires you to get hit 3 times without busting and win your hand 3 separate occasions. For those unaware, the dealer will each give a player a card, and you can request the dealer to hit you, and he will give you another card. Each card is represented by a number. Your hand can't exceed a total of 21 or you bust. This took nearly 6 hours to achieve, but I did it somehow.
17.
That's 9. And 11.
I'll take a card.
18.
Card, please.
19. And 18.
Next, which was Gambler 9, wasn't as hard but still frustrating, requiring you to win 3 games of dominoes in a row. Yes, 3 in a row, not separately. After a lot of frustration, I did some research and discovered you can back out of the game if you know you might lose, and it won't count against you unless you actually lose the game. So eventually, I got this one done too.
Domino.
One thing I also want to mention is by completing these challenges, you actually unlock new equipment at the Trapper, and completing a set, like the Bandit set, the Gambler set, the Herbalist set, some of them will actually give you a permanent increase on one of your core stats, like your Deadeye, your health, or your stamina. It's pretty cool. So now that I've talked about this, I want to discuss what might be the worst thing I did. It's a toss-up between this and the Gambler challenges. I'm of course talking about the side mission chain, Duchesses and Other Animals, where you are given 182 items.
The first time ever
to find and collect for this guy, Algernon, in Saint Denis. Some are flowers, which are easy to locate and have designated places, but the ones that are absolutely the worst to find were these stupid birds. Now, I'm not talking just a few, 20 to 30 different birds here and there. Oh, it sucked. They only spawn at certain areas, and once they do, and when you kill them and skin them, you can't find any more a lot of times. So your best bet is to travel away from here, save, and reload your game to try to reset these spawns. Keep in mind, this side mission has 5 different parts, where each time you collect like 30 items or something, you go back and he gives you another 20, 30, 40, 50 items. It is insanity. And what are we rewarded with? Is a crazy looking hat he makes us, and a rare revolver, which I will admit looks awesome. It really does. It's very unique. But was it worth all of that though? I sure don't think so. You may have already noticed, but I tried to do most of these challenges as Arthur to leave myself very little as John to do. And one of them posed a big problem instantly, besides like collecting plants and other things I had to do in New Austin, but it was Horseman 9, which requires you to ride from Van Horn to Blackwater in under 17 minutes without touching any water. Obviously, as Arthur, I'm like, dang, I can't even get to Blackwater without being killed, and I have to cross over a stream, so what do? So I did a little homework on this, and it is possible. If you actually take a route this way, and if you end up kind of like the tip of the island right here, kind of, you're still not in Blackwater, but you're close, the game actually counts this as Blackwater. So I was able to complete this as Arthur, which was really, really cool. So guys, that's pretty much about everything I had for everything I learned playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for the second time. And like I said before, I can't possibly mention every single thing. It would just, video would be hours. And there's some that may be into that, but I'm going to try to keep it where it is just for pacing and consistency's sake. Yeah, if any of you liked this video, liked what I did, I would be open to doing another one and maybe further exploring on this. Please let me know in the comments down below if this is something you'd like to see, or just want to see more video game content from me, or more Red Dead Redemption content. I would be open to either. But I want to thank you all for getting this far if you did. I really didn't expect this to be my Red Dead Redemption 2 Power Hour, but that's kind of what happened. But yeah, I absolutely love this game. I'm so proud of myself that I got 100% completion. It was a big undertaking, but I'm super happy. I didn't mention it before, but I also have the Zoologist and the Grin and Bear It achievements, where you study and kill every animal in the game, which was a nightmare. The last animal I couldn't find, I spent days looking for it. It was like some kind of turkey out in New Austin. I finally found it towards Fort Mercer. Let me know if anyone else had this same issue. This was about to freak me out. And then the Grin and Bear It one, you just have to get attacked by a grizzly bear like 18 times and survive it every time. It's a pretty simple achievement, but just tedious and takes a while, just like about everything else in this game. I've said it before, but if you like what you see here, maybe consider liking and subscribing, sharing this video. It would really mean a lot to me. But until the meantime, let me know what you guys think about this, some things you learned and found along the way, and I will see you next time. Peace.
guess we're just about done, my friend.
Man.